So with us being, I realize I haven't given my awards up to this point in the NFL. There have been some really good candidates. Don't get me wrong, and I wanted to give them to you. Let's start with comeback player of the year. I think comeback player of the year is kind of difficult. To me, it's between two people. It's between Saquon Barkley and Geno Smith. Saquon Barkley, we know about the injury and costing him the season last year, and then same as Geno Smith. But the reason why I'm giving it to Geno Smith is because even at his best, Geno Smith has never looked this good, except for when he was in college. Geno Smith has never looked this good. Geno Smith, statistically, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That's Geno Smith. There's people that consider him a massive bust, and now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Hey, bro, Geno is Geno, and I'm gonna give my comeback player of the year right now. Pretty much the unpopular podcast football awards in the middle of the season, or midway through the season. Let's say that I'm gonna give it to Geno Smith. Defensive rookie of the year, I'm gonna give it to Sauce Gardner. To me, there hasn't been another rookie that has been as impactful for their team as Sauce Gardner, and there's a lot of people that think that he's arguably the best corner right now in the league. I'm not going to go as far as saying that, but Sauce Gardner is capitalized on every. I mean, he's gotten the best of a lot of great players. If you look at, Stephon Diggs, like, come on now. Sauce Gardner has been great. He has been great, and he stepped up to the challenge every single time he's had to. So my defensive rookie of the year is going to go to Sauce Gardner. Offensive rookie of the year was a lot harder to me because of Breece Hall. Breece Hall was my leading candidate until he got hurt for the Jets. So to me, that's Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker III for the Seahawks. Look, I know there's yet another Seahawk that I give an award to, but I don't think you understand how bad of a roster this looks on paper, and how a lot of people, including myself, counted them out this year. Like it was bad. But Kenneth Walker statistically is one of the best running backs in the league, not just as a rookie, in the league. And because of how good Breece Hall was, Kenneth Walker kind of got outshined. But now that Breece Hall is gone, I have my offensive rookie of the year for Kenneth Walker III. Coach of the year, for the longest, I've been saying is Brian Daboll. I've been saying is Brian Daboll because I've seen what Daniel Jones looks like. I've seen what the New York Giants look like, and they haven't looked this good. Daniel Jones hasn't looked this good, maybe in flashes, but to do this for the majority of a season, he hasn't looked that good. And a lot of people are equating that to Brian Daboll and his change of coaching and change of culture that that has taken place in New York. But I have to give my coach of the year. I'm leaning now, and I've been leaning for Brian Daboll majority of the year, but I have to lean to Pete Carroll. Right now, Pete Carroll is my coach of the year. Again, I just said this, but I'll reiterate. You do not understand how bad of a roster, just name-wise, that this Seattle Seahawks team is. When you have a quarterback battle going into the season of Geno Smith and Drew Lock, when your best offensive lineman in Dwayne Brown leaves, when your best defensive player in Jamal Adams goes out for a season-ending injury early in the season, I think game 1 of the season, to do all that and to be 6-3 and one of the best teams statistically in the league, both offensively and now defensively. Defensively, they're still kind of lower in the pack, but that's because they've really only been good these last maybe 3 or 4 weeks as far as defensively. But before then, they were god-awful. But this team is 10 times better than I thought they would ever be this year. Losing Russell Wilson and understanding how bad the team looked even with Russell Wilson. This team has been incredible. So I have Pete Carroll as my coach of the year right now. Defensive Player of the Year, I have Minka Parsons. The Dallas Cowboys defense has been one of the best units in football, and a lot of that is because of Minka Parsons, which is crazy because this is just his second year. But his speed, the way that he's able to get the way he's able to get to the quarterback, he's incredible, bro. Minka Parsons to me, and this is in a league that still has Aaron Donald, that still has Myles Garrett, but I think Minka Parsons has had the better season out of all three, and actually to me it hasn't really been close. So I have Minka Parsons as my Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year, we know how this award goes. Usually the MVP goes to a quarterback, and the Offensive Player of the Year goes to a running back or wide receiver. I have to give it to Tyreek Hill, bro. Tyreek Hill if he is on track to go over 2,000 yards this year as a wide receiver. I don't think you understand how crazy that is for a wide receiver to go, for any player to go over 2,000 yards. That's not a quarterback, to go over 2,000 yards. Tyreek Hill, boy, and to think that really shows you how great the Chiefs are. Losing a player like Tyreek Hill and still being one of the best teams in the league is crazy. But Tyreek Hill offensively is one of the best players in the league. I think, at least for this year, if you look statistically and everything, he's kind of separated himself as the best wide receiver in the league. I know it's that mantle kind of gets juggled around. I mean, some years, last year you can say it was Cooper Kupp. Devontae Adams is always in that. DeAndre Hopkins, when healthy, is always in that. Stephon Diggs. But it just feels like this year Tyreek Hill has kind of taken that mantle and ran with it. No pun intended. Tyreek Hill is my Offensive Rookie of the Year. And the MVP. The MVP is a very interesting award this year because of so many players it could go to. And if it went to these players that you wouldn't really bat an eye. Like, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can definitely win MVP this year, and nobody thinks to themselves, wait, Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes has the Chiefs at what? The Chiefs are currently, give me a second, 6-2. I think they're going to be 7-2 after Sunday. They lost their number one receiver in Tyreek Hill, but Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. He leads the league in receiving or in passing yards. The Chiefs are still great. Nobody would bat an eye if Josh Allen won the MVP. They're 6-2. They lead one of the best passing attacks in the league, and we also know the yards that he accumulates on the ground, because how big and fast that he is. Hell, nobody would bat an eye if who else? Tyreek Hill won the MVP. Again, 2,000 yards is crazy for a wide receiver. I don't know how many times it's been done, but there's a good possibility it's going to be done this year. Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are currently 6-3. Lost. This happens year after year. They lost J.K. Dobbins again. He's on IR. They lost Rashad Bateman for the season. Their wide receiver, their best wide receiver currently, if you don't count Mark Andrews, who's a tight end, as their wide receiver, is what? Devin Duvernay. They brought back Deshaun Jackson. Yet and still, they're number one in the AFC North, and he's still Lamar. I say all that to say, my MVP, there's no way that I can look at what's going on with Philadelphia and not give it to Jalen Hurts right now. Only team that's undefeated. Jalen Hurts has exceeded expectation drastically. Again, my Jalen Hurts currently, let me see. Jalen Hurts currently is passing, has a 62% completion percentage, has 2,042 yards passing, 12 touchdowns on the year to 2 interceptions. He also has 88 rushes for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has been incredible, man. There's no way that you can look at that. Right now, he's the front runner for MVP for me. A lot of questions that I had for him, he has answered in flying colors. Now, there's talks going around about how the Eagles will fare in the playoffs, seeing as though a lot of their wins, for a lot of people are dissecting, aren't that great of teams. Look here, bro. You win, you beat who's on the schedule. You play who's on the schedule, and you either win or lose. And they have played 8 people on their schedule and have won 8 of them. So I have Jalen Hurts as my MVP. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.